Hey everyone, how's it going? Steve from Primarily Critical coming at you from quarantine. There's going to be a bit of an interruption. There might be a bit of an interruption in service. We have Primarily Critical episodes filmed until the beginning of June. And hopefully at that point we can start recording episodes again. And I hope you're all doing very, very well. Now, without further ado, here's your expected episode of Primarily Critical. Oh yeah. I'm reading my notes here.
Okay. Why are you guys Pirelling it? Like, do you feel like my house is like full of germs?
Stop saying it's Perel. It's not even Perel.
Okay.
Sanitizer. Hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
I coughed into my hand.
Okay. So you coughed in your hand.
That's why I used it. And I used it once.
Because you're worried you might spread to us what came out of your cough.
That's right. Hello everyone and welcome to Primarily Critical at Movies and After Party. This would be it!
This would be it.
If you have not seen this film, we suggest that you do so before listening and viewing any further.
Because we got spoilers, trivia, and we have opinions like crazy. And we can't wait to share them.
Good, bad, or new, or weird, or gross.
Weird. We pass judgment on them all.
Today, war is fucked and you need some goddamn perspective.
Yeah, man.
My name is Steve. I'm here with
Phil.
and
John.
today we're covering Jojo Rabbit.
Wow.
Wow.
What a movie, right?
Thank you.
What a
Phil. Phil.
Okay. What a heavy duty topic to tackle and deal with, even if you were to do it like historically and seriously. But to take it and make it a kind of a comedy,
Yeah.
Unreal.
crazy. And I've heard this before. Like, to pitch this movie to a studio is ridiculous. This wouldn't get done. Somehow
Unreal.
this movie got done, and thank
Unreal.
you that it got done.
It was
Yeah.
made very well.
This is what I call delicate filmmaking.
Surgery. Like,
It is like surgery. I mean, you really are.
we're dealing with the Holocaust.
You're dealing with the most
Millions of
sensitive
people
material on the planet,
We're murdered.
Yeah.
and you're dancing around it,
Literally.
trying to bring up
Sometimes.
how to balance the humor versus
And the
most
tragedy.
one of the most most
And
serious
one of the
things.
darkest moments in humanity we're
Right.
talking about, which in itself, we need to make more movies to document how terrible this was, and somehow this movie does it in a way that's entertaining.
Yeah.
Is that not crazy?
And ambitious, Steve?
Very ambitious. I
Who
love
would
it.
think of putting this together and actually
Taika.
attempting this?
Taika.
Talk about ambition.
Yes.
The genius behind this, I think, in a lot of ways, is Taika Waititi,
Yes.
a New Zealand actor, director. This guy is like the man right now.
Unreal.
He's a man.
He did the screenplay too. I mean,
Yeah, he did the screenplay. I heard that there was some back and forth on Twitter. Some comedian said that comedy is dead because everyone's so sensitive
So
right now.
sensitive
Yeah.
and so safe.
And he shot it down saying, "Dude, I'm making a Hitler movie.
Yeah.
I'm a Hitler movie,
and no,
you need to calm down."
yeah, and a
Sure.
comedy. That. Yeah.
this movie
I
is
mean,
this movie is dangerous. Like, to make a movie like this is dangerous if you don't
Oh.
handle it right. And not only does he direct, he acts in it, and he is Hitler.
yeah.
He plays I guess, imaginary version of Hitler to this boy's
Yeah.
world.
And he did amazing. I mean,
He did really well.
I mean, oh my God. I don't even know where to begin with this movie because there's so much
Begin.
going on.
Start.
Right?
You got notes?
No stabbing.
I mean, how do you even tackle this material in that concept, right? You're dealing with the most sensitive piece of humanity that is like, oh my God, this is
Well,
TNT.
you
when
take
it comes
another
to-
spin to it, and this is based on a book.
Yeah.
This is based on a book
Is it book?
of crazy enough, a supermodel. Israel, I believe. She came up with this. She's a writer now, and she was a supermodel. Oh no! And she came up with this idea about Jojo Rabbit, but Taika Waititi took it in a different spin on it. He involved him as Hitler in the movie, and but the nuts and bolts of the movie is about a boy that's grown up in this Nazi culture. He's 10 years old,
Yeah.
and he befriends a Jewish girl living in their house, hiding.
Yeah, but that's later on in the movie. He has an imaginary friend, Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's a proud German person in that time, right? He's got a snake
is.
mind, a wolf body, a panther courage, and a German soul.
And he idolizes Adolf
Adolf
Hitler.
Hitler. Yeah, he's he loves his leaders, his country leaders, and he goes he joins the would you call them scouts? I don't know.
It was definitely comparable to Scouts.
Yeah, he joined the
It's like the Boy
child
Scouts
version.
of Germany.
Yeah.
But this is wartime, so I guess this is a way of getting the kids in the system.
It's the Nazi Scouts. Let's go with that.
Yeah, and
Nazi
Nazi
Scouts.
it's getting
yeah.
all the kids into the system, and the boys were going to be soldiers, and the women were going to be breeders, and it was
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
I put out 18 babies for Germany.
Yeah.
Shoo.
Yeah.
There's the comedy, right? The comedy
Yeah.
in there is just like,
Well, it was the genius to me is that right off the hop is that they come in and make sure if you're going to tackle this material, you got to make sure that the evil within it is degraded to buffoonery, and he did that in such a good way that it was hilarious buffoonery, right? Like
yeah,
Adolf Hitler was a buffoon, and he was funny as a buffoon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all the Nazis were funny buffoons. Yeah, but you know, he somehow he took this buffoonery and made the movie got serious.
I'll tell you.
Very serious.
It got
You know
very
when it, you know
serious,
when
you know?
you want to know when it got serious, because this was the same thing I thought when I watched the movie.
Yeah.
We're riding along, we're doing a Monty Python kind of take.
Yeah.
We're being silly. We're like Monty Python held like Jesus, and they handled some heavy things in their movie.
Yeah.
So this movie's dealing with the Holocaust, and it's riding along. 20 minutes into the movie, I had to mark the time, is when we know that we see the first real thing of the Holocaust is hanging
Yeah.
the Jews in public
Yeah.
in this town.
Jew sympathizers, maybe. Not even
Maybe,
Jews,
yeah, Jew sympathizers.
Yeah.
That's when it for me is like, okay, this is a serious movie now. We're you
Yeah.
know, we're dealing with.
Yeah.
It came from this fantasy kind of world where they're having
Yeah.
fun, and it seems silly to a stark reality that, wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Well, yeah, and the way the movie was made is that it was just such a great job of where the viewer is going to put their emotional connections to what characters, right? So we have Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
We're not going to emotionally connect with Adolf Hitler. He's like a jester, a clown figure.
Yeah.
And all the Nazis were like jester, clown figures. We know no one's going to emotionally connect with them.
No.
But at the same time, while he's got this buffoonery going on with these jesters, these clowns that are all the Nazis, he's also developing characters that you are emotionally connecting to, that you are actually. So you're laughing at this buffoonery. At the same time, you're building this connection. So it's genius to me. I mean, who does that? It's always either one or the other, right? It's like we're going to be in this laughing mode where we look at everyone's a buffoon or everyone's funny or stuff, but he's dealing with serious content and simultaneously doing that. I thought that is unbelievable.
That mom was just incredibly good.
Yeah.
The actress, she was a goofball in one
Yeah.
scene, then she's kicking that guy in the nuts in the next scene, and she's dressing up like
Yes.
that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the ashes from the
Oh,
fireplace.
right? Yeah,
and
it's just-
and rightfully so. She was nominated. Scarlett Johansson was nominated for a supporting actress award. She didn't win.
I
but-
will never know her for any other role.
But
Yeah.
That was just
So
fucking
I totally
perfect.
agree. She was everything that she tried to be to try to raise this kid in this ridiculous world of a world where the world, Germany was losing in this movie. They're losing the war,
Yeah.
and things are starting to wind down and get chaotic. And she's still trying to hold it together. She's a Nazi sympathizer. She's hiding a Jewish girl.
Oh, she's Jewish.
She's a Jewish sympathizer. No.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
My
That's all good.
goodness,
Yeah.
what a slip. Anyways, she's doing good. She's a good person.
She's
in
doing
this
what
movie.
she can, right?
But she can't say to her son like, oh well, she can't blow her cover. She can't. Her son would go out and report her.
Yeah,
The son was
just a kid,
so brainwashed to being in that world, and you can understand it.
Yeah.
We at 10 years old. We're the world that our family, our parents,
absolutely
make us to be. Right?
We're products
and we would
of our
follow our
environment.
parents
Yeah,
and
for
cults,
sure.
Nazis. We'd follow them anywhere.
Yeah.
And then you can't blame the kid.
Not at all.
But he learns throughout the movie that this is the wrong thing. But we go on that journey and we go through it in a comical way. But there's some hard realities in the movie, and that hanging scene at the beginning, and then later on, the hanging of the mother is just brutally brings you back to the reality of what we're talking about in this movie.
Wow.
Yeah, just when you think things might get too silly.
Yeah.
It just brings you down like
but
like
the
a plane
silly,
crash.
the funny stuff was great. There's some I can't even. There's moments where Sam
Could you grab me one too?
Yes.
Sam Rockwell, he plays the captain, and he's lost his eye in a war incident.
Klenzendorf.
Yeah, and
Captain Klenzendorf.
he's secretly like
He's gay.
Yeah,
He's a gay captain.
gay captain, but he sympathizes with the Jews. He thinks the war is stupid, and he learned through the war, I guess, this a losing effort.
Well,
and,
he loves Germany. He clearly loves Germany.
but
And
the writing's on the wall. This is going to end. And if he's gay, he's not going to exist in this world. So there's another
I don't
level.
know I don't know how the Germans felt about it.
Oh, they didn't like anything but a white Aryan blonde kid. Apparently, they had a specific type of human.
Yeah, and they had very specific ideas. He wanted to, from the very beginning of the movie. He made it very clear he wanted to be out commanding men in the field. He's a proud German soldier, but he's also gay, and he also has a lot of problems with this whole Jewish hunting thing. And he makes that clear when he doesn't report the little girl for not being for saying the wrong birth date.
Yeah. And how about another one? Because
I have a question. Did they hang Rosie? Did they hang Rosie because of the pamphlets on the wall, or did they hang Rosie because they suspected she was hiding a Jew?
I think
because of pamphlets. Because they did come, like they came to. I feel like the Gestapo came to her place.
Gestapo, yes,
because they were on to her already.
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
But they didn't, and that was pre-hanging. Is that correct? Would you guys agree that was
the
pre-hanging?
one I was just about to make? The Gestapo
pre-hanging.
came and investigated their house.
Right. So, and I feel like the Gestapo was content when they walked out of the house, saying, "No, they're not hiding Jews." Yeah. That was my assessment of that. Yet she still got hung.
Yeah.
Right.
So shortly thereafter.
Shortly thereafter, right? So they already had cleaned her house, so to speak.
Yeah.
Saying that no, she's not hiding Jews, but she still got to hang because she's been doing something else. So
yeah, that's a good point. I wasn't clear on that. But during that scene, the interrogation, Sam Rockwell's character, he covers for them. There was a date in the passport or something.
Yeah,
right.
So that was it. I was thinking what I was trying to say about is layers of characters have their things going on, and the big bad wolf, the big evil, is the Nazis. Everybody can't live in that world because they all, let's face it.
Yeah.
We can't all be one type of human that they want their view to be, and be under their boot all the time. And it's like, that's why we got to remind people about this shitty history.
Now, do you think they took things a little bit too far when they mentioned the clones? There's in the corner of the room. Yeah. There's maybe he can walk the clones.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, now you're introducing science fiction.
Yeah.
Well, Taika.
But that to me that tied into their humor.
And the world of absurdity.
Okay. All right.
There was
Comic relief. Comedy relief.
There was
That's what that
tons of
was. Yeah.
scenes. Did you see when the shit was hitting the fan and the Germans
Yeah.
were losing?
Yeah.
They had citizens trying to do the metal, picking up metal pieces and stuff. And they had one scene where they're holding rocket-propelled grenades in their hands. They don't know what to do with it because they're
Yeah.
supposed to defend the city.
Mhm.
They're supposed to be the last line of defense.
Yeah.
It's hopeless.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love that about it. Like they're showing like how that would probably be. It's ridiculous at the end. There's old
Go give
guys.
that American a hug.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
Pull the pin.
there's an old men trying to pick up guns and try to defend
Yeah.
the situation. It's done, right? And
There's so many layers of genius in this movie, and you could go from filmmaking and stuff and the story. One of the things that I just love, and this puts aside all the wonderful filmmaking, is just the basic story of taking the Holocaust from a child's perspective and watching the child. You can call it brainwashing. You can call it what you want. The
Yeah.
propaganda, whatever. But the thing is that kid who's sitting there, buying into the whole regime of the Nazi movement, is he any different than the men? No.
because a lot of the men
No, and the thing
are
is
young
that
too, right?
I feel like by doing it through a child was so smart because it
Yeah.
actually just shows
How ridiculous.
how
Awful.
we can call ourselves grown men,
Yeah.
and we can call ourselves that we're so much smarter than a child, but are we?
No.
No.
And a lot of the people.
we fall into the same social pressures that children do. And we're not susceptible to it, and that's what this movie did to me. It said, you know what? All you people, you think even today that if suddenly all your friends, your grown men friends, were like, "Oh, this is the problem," there. You know how many of us would be like, "Oh yeah, we'd all be agreeing with our men friends." We would be, and by doing it in a child, it showed how stupid that is. Is that we're just
absolutely.
genius?
And there's dynamics within the kid structure. The kids and his pal. I love that kid, his buddy.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
it's a bad
they're-
time to be a Nazi.
It's a bad time to be a Nazi.
But with they had the bully guys, right? The bully little Nazi older kids.
Oh yeah.
They
Okay.
got sent off to war, and war was hell on them.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a scene where you see like they fucked
They're
them up.
coming back.
Yes,
and
yes.
Right?
Go hug
And
your
it
mothers.
shows you even within that kind of world, even with the kids, it's awful. And wow, but
Oh man,
the kids survive, and there's a lot of layers. Before I forget, I love how they put in German versions of the Beatles song.
yes.
And David Bowie at the end of the
Yes.
movie,
Yeah.
and it's like crazy. Like it's so old with the new, and
My biggest regret is that I'm actually sitting here and being recorded and talking about this movie, and I've only seen it once. This movie I have to see probably at least 10 times
Oh, my goodness.
to really grasp the layer. I'm serious. There's so much going on here. Like there's so much going on here that it's like, I just don't feel like I'm ready yet to talk about it. It's that deep. Like
Now, I first saw this movie in the theaters with Christian. He invited me out to see it because we've seen pretty much everything Taika Waititi has ever made.
he's amazing.
And so this is the second time. I made sure to watch it the second time for this podcast. Christian said that he listened to the commentary track for this movie. And apparently, the whole thing is Taika Waititi. And he calls the kid who plays Jojo, Roman. He calls Roman Davis and yells at him for a little bit on the commentary. So I can't wait to check that out. And you're right, there's a lot of layers to this movie, and it was just as good the second time, if not better.
yeah.
And I'm sure it'll be the same thing the third or fourth time. I should buy it.
This should be long. Anyone who's a movie buff, put this in your collection.
Absolutely.
And study it.
Think about all the movies that have been made about World War II.
Yeah.
Here comes along a movie that takes it from the real heart of why we need to stop the Germans.
Yeah.
This gets to the heart of that in a comical, entertaining way.
Courageous.
How do you do that?
Yeah.
I mean, you got your Saving Private Ryans, you got your.
Oh yeah.
you go
there's a
on.
canon. There's a canon
Just-
of
but it's-
movies about the Holocaust.
Well,
This does not fit in
No,
any
it
canon.
doesn't, right?
It's like wow, I
But-
never thought someone would touch this subject again
and make
without fitting it in the canon.
And make
'Cause
you-
it's so
yeah,
defined and so been done.
but still
that
be
this is
as
the way.
impactful
Yeah.
and make you realize that it just.
Oh my God. I mean,
And another thing I
I'm
appreciate.
gushing over this movie. I don't know what to, I don't know what to say, man.
Did you appreciate the fact that a lot of movies are produced about wars by Americans, and they have
Yeah.
American pro agenda, American this, that, and that? It's hardly a mention because yes, the Allied forces liberated Germans in the world. They
Yeah.
fought back, Canada included. The Americans were a big part of it, but they really don't touch on that, and all they really show is one scene of that sheep going through the town with a flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, American!
Yeah. That's it. That's all we get.
It's
Yeah.
like
and that-
I love that.
Yeah, I
You
love
don't
that
need
too.
to be
yeah.
hammered over the head with America.
Yeah.
So kudos on that.
Absolutely, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. To play into what you were saying, I wrote down. You want to say that this movie is crazy. You want to say that this is a work of complete fiction, and it is. But I don't think it's fiction enough. I mean, there's a lot of very real, hard truths that
Very real,
pills
yeah.
that you gotta swallow.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because nobody goes into war thinking that they're the bad guy.
Yeah. Oh my God. You know, when the Gestapo was in there, like, I can think of all the other movies that followed that canon that we were just talking about, right? The Hollywood canon about how you deal with the Holocaust, right? And I can think about, we've all had those moments where the Gestapo's coming in, they're hiding the Jew somewhere in the house, right? And that, this was no lesser. Even though we're dealing with, there's comical elements in this movie, I felt exactly the same fear that I did in all those other movies.
How
right?
about
Like,
Oh, yeah.
and maybe even then some. I was terrified when they're like, "Holy crap!" Like if they find out,
it held that suspense.
yeah, and
This guy couldn't have been scarier, and he was super friendly.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's the guy that played Herr Junker.
you're talking the head of the Gestapo.
Yeah,
guy?
yeah. Weintraub. I don't know. Anyway, Joe.
yeah.
Joe Weintraub.
Oh,
Man, or maybe I hope I get the right actor.
Yeah.
Anyway, the guy, the head of the Gestapo, was just. It was
he,
just.
he was the guy from movie 43.
Yeah, he's in that. Yeah,
Is he?
yeah,
The guy where they did the double,
Yeah.
the Dara.
yep.
Yeah. Well, remember him for this movie.
yeah, I know. It's true. Yeah.
Hey,
Also,
Yeah, no, they did an amazing job in this movie. Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. There's echoes of a movie that comes to mind, Inglourious Bastards, when they're hiding under
Yeah.
the floor in the
Right.
house.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
tension was
Tension. Yeah. But it was still here in this
and it
movie.
was
yeah.
still here in the movie, and that's to walk those lines and be comical, and it's brilliant, right?
It's
really
brilliant.
is brilliant.
I can't even think, like, how does a guy pre-production sit there and go, I'm going to do this. I'm
Well,
going to tackle this. And I can pull this off.
I guess he had to reach a certain status in the business, but also people want to act in his movies now, right? Like,
Yeah.
you got some A-list talent, and I loved everything.
But this is one of those
that,
movies
right?
that you could die on.
yeah.
Like, I'm not kidding you. You take this subject matter, you do what he did. This could be the last movie you did if you did it wrong.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. It
Yeah.
could end your career.
Absolutely.
And he had a ton of success.
Yeah.
There's no reason to tackle this, right? No reason to go there. But did.
you love people and directors for
Talk
that
about
reason
kahunas, man.
because they're not cashing out.
Kahunas?
Kahunas.
Yeah.
Giant kahunas.
But what I think we're all craving, I think in the movie world, we do movies, we like movies, we review
Yeah.
movies. Give us something new and spin a
Mhm.
fresh take on something. Give
Yeah.
us something that makes us remember it. Give
Yeah.
us something that's not been done. This movie fills that kind of
It
void
did.
we've been
It
missing.
did. Loved it. I mean, I just loved it.
I mean, there's elements of it I've seen in other movies. Like I touched on Monty Python. There's Inglourious Bastard tensions about war movies. But overall, I mean, it's brilliant. It's just a
Yeah.
refreshing take on a horrible historical moment.
Yeah.
And brilliantly acted. Holy heck, the Jojo, Roman Griffin Davis. Like a kid, 10-year-old kid trying to negotiate this world. Being like, if you were that kid, wouldn't you just follow Try to be
Yeah.
a good Nazi. Try to be a good
absolutely.
Christian. Try
Yeah.
to be
Okay.
a good.
So we can gush over this movie all
I
night
think
long,
we
right?
could all
And-
night,
and-
yeah.
and
How
we
many-
are primarily critical. Can you guys? I cannot
Clones.
find any the clones.
The clones.
That was-
okay.
okay.
I have
You went
one-
too far, Taika.
One criticism:
All right.
Okay.
the accent on some of the actors, and it's crazy to think you got to be German. Well, then do German, speak the language German, and do subtitles if you want to be authentic. But we have movies where we're going to do the accent, and I thought it was just a little weak for Sam Rockwell. Just kind of did a weak German accent. Did that bug you?
No.
No,
It
it's,
didn't bother. Hey, with a movie as good as this, we're gonna have to be petty. So I mean,
I'm petty. If I had to pick one,
it's gonna be petty. I know, and I feel bad even doing it. But this is what we do, right?
Hey,
So
on
we-
the,
we-
but
we
on,
do.
the, on
Yeah,
the flip
this is what we
side,
do, yeah.
wasn't Taika Waititi as Adolf just amazingly
Oh,
entertaining?
Unbelievable.
And did you see how
yeah.
he went from being proud and in charge to the end when he was desperate? He was kind of like he was Pennywise from It.
Yeah.
Where he's losing his power
Yeah.
over the kid,
Yeah.
and then by the end of it, he's just all
Almost
beat up.
begging the kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Give me a
begging,
high, I'll hit you.
"Hey, hi
Yeah.
there," and he spits on
Yeah.
the pot, and he kicks down a chair. And
Yeah.
but the kid kicks him literally kicks him out of his mind through a window in like a superhero way,
Yeah.
and that's
He's done with him. Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah.
That was Jojo.
He keeps offering
Yeah.
him cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
know.
right.
And his kid finally says, "I'm 10 years old. Why do you keep offering me?" I love this. This was that's just like good humor that was well written, and that's not classic humor. That's just original humor. You know,
It must have been fun.
great stuff,
Imagine
yeah.
like getting up all in the gear and like getting the costume on and looking like
Yeah.
so and so. I don't want to give any more credit to that guy, but the acting of that and just having fun, hamming it up,
Yeah.
and just being this wacky.
I feel like this
Clowny.
is this. I honestly feel like this is like the like I said about Creep. I said for Creep for different reasons. You got to if you're want to study film, you study Creep because two actors. You made a 2-hour movie that was amazing
Yeah.
with just two and a low budget. But this is a bigger budget, study this one too. This is another
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Put this on the books.
Steve,
All right.
trivia
We'll get into this
time?
trivia.
Yeah.
Taika Waititi, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly,
so.
discovered in his research that World War II Germany was very vibrant and fashionable, and was interested in shying away from traditional war films showing it as a dreary and dark. Instead of presenting the town as a seemingly celebratory place and dressing characters as stylish as possible. He liked the idea that everything seemed happy, but just underneath the surface, the Third Reich was crumbling.
Yeah.
And, the dream was over.
Yeah.
I saw
the,
it.
the people were stylish.
They were.
Everyone looked good.
Jojo's mother had that hat, was tilted like a little hat on the head, and the colors were poppy, kind of
It's
bright.
like, let's pretend we're going to win this war, even though we know we're not.
Yeah.
But what do you expect from the people? They kind of were committed, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're not committed. You're hanging
Wow.
people in the square or town square.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
committed
Yeah,
to
they
this
didn't
thing.
do anything
And so
without
you're
thinking
going
that
to
they were
live
going to
your
win.
best life to the end, I guess.
People that are sold on whatever they're sold on, they're going to do it because they don't know how to. It's etiquette, right? This is the etiquette. That's what we've been sold on. This is what our
probably
culture
made-
exists on.
You probably made your decision, but there were
Yeah.
sympathizers with the Jewish people, and they tried to hide and carry on and chipper up her.
Yeah.
And as the mother did, right? She tried to do her best to pull this out of
Facade.
the fire.
Yeah,
They were close to winning. Not to get too history-ish,
yeah.
but I mean, they ended up picking too many fights. But if they hadn't have done
They
that,
spread themselves too thin.
they spread themselves.
Yeah.
If they hadn't
Well-
have done that, they could have easily expanded and
Oh,
North
what a
America.
world we live in today.
Here we
Yeah,
could
no
get
doubt.
into World War II things. There's a lot of things. Like the Americans didn't jump into the fight until later
Way
on.
later,
Yeah.
And a lot of things, right?
Right.
So thank goodness it worked out the way it did. But millions, like I forget to count, 6 million Jews died.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Sorry if I don't know
It's
the
a
number.
Holocaust.
Yeah.
But
I'm
it's
not shying
that-
away from that word.
That bad. And come to Winnipeg and check out our museum.
Human Rights Museum.
Right, there's like serious evidence. For those who deny it, get out of
Wake
our
up.
face. Wake up.
Wake
We're
up.
along with the
Yeah.
flat earthers.
Yeah.
Just get out of here. Anyways, let's keep going here.
Yeah.
When Taika Waititi, who is a Mora Jewish.
Maori.
That's
Maori. We've learned
New
this from
Zealand. Yeah.
what's our big movie that we
Once Were Warriors.
Once Were Warriors. Yes.
Shout out to our fans for that.
Yes.
Yes. Was asked about why he chose to play the role of Adolf Hitler. He said, the answer is simple. What a better fuck you to the guy.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
I totally agree. Yeah.
Make a clown of him.
Make a clown of the guy. I mean, what better way, you know?
As a legacy. Here you
Yeah.
go in 4K, beautiful film.
If I want to remember
technology,
Hitler,
fuck you, Hitler.
yeah, I want to remember him just like he
The-
portrayed him.
Buffoon. Well, but it's like, could you imagine a
Yeah.
Jew acting you in a blockbuster, sensational, nominated Oscar movie? If Hitler was alive today to see this, he'd be like, God
Yeah.
damn. I want to go back to hell.
Yeah. Wow.
Awesome.
Which one am I taking here?
The third one. This one right here. Taika
Okay.
described.
Okay. Taika Waititi?
I think so.
Okay. Describe the film as oh my gosh, I should remember my glasses here. Describe the film as a love letter to his mother and single parents everywhere. It wasn't until I was grown up and I had kids of my own that I realized, oh, these parent people, they make a lot of sacrifices. It's really hard raising a kid. Boy, I got to start bringing my glasses here.
Okay.
Try raising
You
a
did
kid
great.
in a world war.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, yeah.
I mean, that's a general statement outside of a world war. But
Yeah.
yeah.
But it just imagine the stakes are even higher. But
Scarlett Johansson, who played Rosie, she made me want to be a better parent. Because she was just a fucking rock star.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, man.
but it
And
is-
you know, don't you think for her character, how hard? Like, she obviously did not believe in what's going on, and she's watching her kid. But how? That's got to be difficult. But she has to.
yeah.
She has to let him.
But she was trying to hide the girl for as long as she could.
Yeah, and she has to let her kid. She has to watch her kid
Yeah.
go down
into that
this
world.
road.
But
And
yeah.
you know, how hard is
But
that?
but
right?
you get the sense that everybody was holding out that the war was coming to a close, that this was coming to a close. Just
Right.
hold it together for as long as you
So
could.
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying in her mind, she's thinking, this is going to end, and I will get them straight after
Yeah.
that, when that
Yeah.
happens.
But-
But right now, I have to let him go. I have to let him buy
Let him
into
do
this
his
stuff.
thing, yeah.
Right. I will fix him later, you know.
I guess
But
that
that's
was
a
the
tough
plan.
role as a parent.
But it's extreme.
you know.
Situation calls for extreme parenting,
Yeah.
and extreme situations like the poor kid. Like he figures it out through his own
Yeah.
life, anyways.
Yes. Yeah.
And brilliant, but right.
Yeah.
Now, for the record, I think Sam Rockwell rocked the accent. And Sam Rockwell can do anything. He can
No.
do anything.
Hey, Sam, I love you, guy. I think he makes every movie better. So that's all I gotta say. He's a little weak on his accent.
That's nice.
He's a little weak on the accent, the German accent.
Sam Rockwell said that in addition to having a dialogue coach to learn the accent, he watched classical and veteran actors like Marlon Brando, Ralph Fiennes, Oscar Werner portray World War II era Germans, and then decided that ultimately his character would be more like Bill Murray or Walter Matthau with a German accent.
Oh, that explains everything.
There you go.
He did really well. He did really
I
well.
loved him. I thought he did really
No,
well.
I
Serious,
think-
the not so serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you kind of love at the end when he knew he was gonna get shot?
He knew it was the end.
Yeah.
He kind of like
He
said,
put on makeup. He did the whole thing.
Yeah, he did his thing. Yeah.
he was like, okay, I'm just gonna go over there, kind of like
Yeah.
he knew it was the end, and he did what he could, and
Yeah.
amazing stuff,
Amazing.
Heart-
stuff.
heart-
Yeah.
wrenching stuff in
Yeah.
a comical way, which is so hard.
Yeah.
I think we agree. I think the ability to make you entertain you and it's just amazing. It's amazing work.
This is a 10 out of 10, and I would never give it 10 out of 10 because I always like just like figure skaters, you gotta leave that like 9 out of 10 because there might be some.
Yeah,
But
right.
but once upon a time, like once in a Once Upon a Time. Once in a long time, you get a movie that comes along that is so groundbreaking that you got to give it to it.
Yeah.
You got to give it to it. This is a 10 out of 10. This
Yeah.
movie to me.
Yeah.
It's as good as movie making gets. You know,
it's a very important movie because it feels like it's not an R-rated movie. Because there was a scene where they could have been it could have been more violent. They could have showed the hanging mother's face.
Yeah,
they
you didn't need to do that.
They kept it PG, if that's a way to say it, and they kept it comical. The kid could watch this and not get it, all the things, but they can, like...
This, we could talk about this movie all night long. Like, I'm serious. There's so many levels of this movie that I could talk about, and from the filmmaking perspective, that's... you almost want to do a podcast on that alone.
Sure.
This was an awesome movie, man. I couldn't recommend it more. If you haven't seen it, you should have seen it because it's spoilers.
Spoilers. Germans didn't win the war.
Yeah,
I guess. But hey, check it out. If you have seen it, see it again, and look out for Taka Waititi.
Yes.
I have been currently watching What We Do in Shadows, the TV show. I know he's heavily involved with that.
Is he involved with that?
Yeah, it's the reboot of the movie on the TV version of the show. And
but I heard that he wasn't.
Well, I think he's producing it, or he's actually credited.
I'm at the point where I can believe this guy can do no wrong. I mean, he tackled the most difficult subject that is known, social subject that is known, and he tackled it, and he did it, took a spin on that I thought no one would ever even attempt to touch, and he did it, and he perfected it. So, wow.
Yes.
Kudos to that, man.
I don't think...
3 thumbs up. All right, that was Jojo Rabbit, ladies and gentlemen. Next week, Monday at noon, I haven't picked my movie yet. So you're just going to have to wait and find out. Wait and find out. Excitement. Oh, the excitement. I'm Steve. This is
Phil.
John.
Primarily Critical. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, we have a store now.
Yes.
Check it out. We're gonna get our gear delivered right away. We'll see you then. Bye-bye. Bye. Store. Money.
When you get the product,
any support at all would be appreciated. Yeah.
How long is it gonna take? It's coming. It takes a while. We got stuff that was...
It's coming over from overseas, right?
Yeah, I think it took a month to get our stuff when we did.